If you've never been on a car rally and wondering what it's like, this is the video for you. So grab your drinks and snacks and come along as Michelle and I go on our first Corsa Rally. Some of you watching may not know exactly what a rally is, and I'm happy to explain it to you. A rally is a multi-day event that brings together car enthusiasts who like to drive their cars across the most renowned open roads, traveling hundreds of miles to unique destinations while enjoying private day parties, track days, restaurants, nightlife, and excursions. Everything is pre-coordinated to provide the best experience possible. Rallies can be statewide, countrywide, or even international, like the Gumball 3000, which is a 3,000-mile rally. If you drive a fast car, like to travel, have a great time, and make new friends with the same interests, a rally is something you must experience at least once. In 2017, when I had my Alfa Romeo 4C and lived in New York, I joined an exotic car club that used to rally regularly in the tri-state area, with events almost every weekend. It was a blast until I moved to the Carolinas and had zero car friends. Since being here, I wanted to enjoy what I missed. I do go to local car events, but it's nothing like rallying. After a friend from the club told me about the Corsa America Rallies, I had my eye on the website, waiting for the rally that can work with my schedule. And bam, Corsa America Florida showed up, a 5-day rally from Tampa to Miami with a stop in Orlando. I booked it right away, and this is how it went. The first thing I needed to do was get my car prepped, making sure the car was in perfect shape to endure 4 days of driving in the Florida heat. After that, I needed to have the car shipped out to Tampa. So I called up Joe from Certified Motors Tampa, and he got an enclosed trailer to my driveway in just a few days. The car arrived at his shop the next day, and all there was left for me to do was pack and hop on a flight to Tampa. Technically, this was during day 1 of the rally, where there was a group meetup for food, drinks, and cigars. However, since I had a late flight, I wasn't able to make it. So after we arrived that night, I picked up the car from Joe, stopped to fill up the tank, and slept well before the madness. We made it to the hotel, we picked up the car from Joe, everything was in good shape. So now we're just gonna get to sleep, wake up tomorrow morning, and the first thing we're gonna do is start the rally at Maserati Tampa. So, good night. On day 2, we headed to Maserati for the rally launch event. So we're gonna head to Maserati Tampa right now to meet the crew and start this rally. Let's go! When we arrived, there was an entry just for the rally, and the lot was filled with all the cars going on the rally. We were joined by everything from Lambos, McLarens, and Ferraris to Rolls-Royce and Bentleys. Of course, Porsche gang showed up with some fire GT3s and Turbo S's. There were even some AMGs that made me miss my old Benzes. There was even an Alfa Quadrifoglio and a GT500, which were both beasts. Before heading inside, we dropped off school supplies for a fundraiser and our luggage to be transported to our hotel in Orlando. And then we headed in. Inside, we grabbed our goodie bags filled with Corsa gear, including t-shirts and luggage tags. After that, we were provided a full breakfast and met and mingled with all the drivers. Everyone was very nice, and we made a few friends before the rally had even begun. Before you know it, the owner of Corsa, Thomas, who drives a 765 LT, gave a quick speech, and before you know it, we were in our cars with our engines started. With the Tampa Police Department controlling traffic to let us all roll out together, we were off to Orlando. There's no better feeling than driving down the highway surrounded by the sickest cars and engines roaring, knowing that we're all enjoying the same experience together as one. The first stop in Orlando was McLaren Tampa. After taking over the private parking, we headed inside to mingle, eat lunch, and check out their collection of cars, which featured 2 cars I'd never thought I'd get to see in person. The McLaren Speedtail, which is McLaren's first ever Hyper GT and the fastest McLaren to date, and the Elva, which is the new version of the McLaren Elva race car of the mid-1960s. But what really made this visit special was getting a private tour of the dealership owner, Mr. Knight's private car collection, which featured 5 GT2 RSs, a 918 Spider, and a McLaren Sienna, just to name a few. Then, just when I thought his car collection blew my mind, the man also has a tank collection. Yes, tanks. I'll just leave this footage here so you can see it for yourself. After getting our minds blown, we were headed back into our cars, got back on the road, and headed to the Hyatt Grand Cypress Resort, which was our stay for the night. When we arrived, we left the car with Nico, the rally car detailer, to get the car all cleaned up for day 2. Inside, we were given a welcome glass of champagne while we went through the check-in process. After checking in, we wasted no time, dropped off our bags, and headed to the pool where we met everyone for drinks and fun in the sun. Later that night, we had an awesome dinner at Lake House. Then spent the night at the bar with our newly made friends. On day 3, we were off to Miami Beach, a 231-mile drive along the coast of Florida. And this is where we really had some fun. We finally arrived at our stay for the next 2 days, the Fontainebleau in South Beach. After completely taking over the garage, we headed in and headed up. Our suite had the best view of South Beach I ever seen. After checking in, we spent the day drinking at the pool with some friends. For dinner, we took an Uber to Mila. This place had amazing vibes and some of the best food I've ever eaten. After that, we went to the Blue Bar for drinks while we pre-gamed for Live, where we got VIP, got to see Bryson Tiller perform, and party till 5:30 in the morning. It was one of the wildest nights I've had in a long time. On day 4, we were supposed to go to the Hard Rock for Supercar Saturdays, but since we partied so hard the night before, we didn't have the strength to wake up at 7 a.m. to make it there at 8:30 a.m. So we slept in, woke up, headed to La Cote for lunch, which was delicious. Then we spent some time at the Arcadia Day Club with the crew. After that, we decided to go shopping in the Design District and grab dinner. Corsa planned the dinner at Smith & Wollensky, but we skipped out because Michelle and I had to eat at our favorite restaurant we must visit every time we're in South Beach, Puerto Sagua. Absolute best Cuban food in the US, hands down. After dinner, it was time to pregame some more and head back to Live for our last night in Miami, where Cedric Gervais performed and we partied all night. On day 5, we checked out, had the car picked up to be shipped back home, and then went to have breakfast at a nice restaurant on Collins Ave. After that, we headed to the airport and headed home. My first Corsa Rally was a blast. I relived the old days and had so much fun doing it. I made a bunch of new friends and experienced something new. Considering everything that was included in the price, it's definitely worth it, from the private events, lunches, dinners, and the 5-star hotels, and even the small things like the luggage service, police escorts, and car detailing at each hotel. It's a no-brainer. And being able to experience it with like-minded people with the same interests makes it even more enjoyable. We're already scoping out our next Corsa Rally and hope to see you tag along as well. I'll leave the website link in the description below. If you enjoyed this content, like this video and consider subscribing to the channel for more car adventures, travel vlogs, and more like these 2 videos. Until next time, peace.